Hey, there we go. Wonderful. Fantastic. And it's recording myself. Okay. Hmm. Maybe this should adjust properly, to be honest. This is so weird. Okay. All right. Um, can I go to the stream, please? Bring me to stream. My goodness. Okay, you guys. Really appreciate your patience. All right. If you want to see my beautiful face, I'm on YouTube. So I did get a new camera a little while back. So the fidelity should be a lot better. Okay. Um, that said, we need to do some reviews, correct? I think we do. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I don't think it's working. Okay. Lazy, good to have you as well. Let's see. We, of course, have Dan here first. Then we have Lazy, Mango, my man, Easy Claps, and a treat from John Borosa, which is a PDF. So I'm going to be looking at that in just a moment. Okay. Starting with Dan, though. Right? We got to go with Dan. This is an ongoing process Dan's been doing ever since he joined Designly. Oh boy. There we go. Now it's back. I touched the cord wrong. Okay. Okay. So Dan requested that I take a look at his latest banner. Is that under banner folio, Dan? I'm just going to assume that is. Okay. Got to get this organized, buddy. For sure. Sure. Fourth and fifth one. Okay. Was this for a client? So yeah, I mean, a lot of your previous ones have very sans serif heavy header fonts. And this one, experimenting with something different, right? I I'm not I'm not personally a fan of thing like banners that have this type of font in general. I think they're overused. Um, Personally, I don't know if it's a style that's worth continuing. Cause like, I feel like the reason why is it has to do with the fact that I can't really read it very quickly, right? Um, Everything is blending really harsh, and I know you tried your best with really making it stand out with these rim lights on the inner glow and all that, but I still can't really. It's just the font is way too stylized. Um, did you design with just a thought in mind? Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess you created this because you wanted a different to experiment with a different style, but like why? Like, everything that you've done before, you were still developing this style. Like I don't think that you necessarily perfected it. Like from here, from this to this, huge improvement. But I would still say that you can still do more. And now you've changed your style. And with any artist, not just design, if you change your style too much, you're not committed to solving the problems that are within the current style that you're working through. Because then you're on to the next one, and then the next one, right? So I would just be careful with doing that. I suppose there's something wrong with experimenting, but if your attitude is that I want to experiment with a brand new style, then it's going to you're going to be kind of stuck in this middle ground to where you're not really perfecting any one style because you keep moving on too much. Um, that said, I mean, it does look like an anime header that you would see, on in general with these things. You're not really reinventing the wheel here, which is you're not really supposed to do that anyway. It just doesn't really make me feel anything. I don't know. Huh? Yeah. Make it look worse so you don't even like what this looks like. Glass half full. Mm-hmm. There are areas that feel low quality, I am zoomed in, but like even around this area with these little light things, they look like they've been posterized like a lot. I don't know if I can zoom in. I can't. Wonderful. It feels, I don't know. I look at all these other ones which are super clean, sharp edges, distinct lighting, and then I come here and everything's just kind of like thrown together. Ugh. Yeah. In cases like this, I would definitely try to use an AI upscaler when it comes to drawn art, for sure. Just AI upscaler in general when your files are not up to par with the DPI that you need it to be. So, like, there's nothing here that screams to me as like a very clean edge, right? And that's a problem because illustrations are supposed to have clean edges. You've softened everything up. They have like these really light blue brush globs in the eyes, and like you know, going up to here, it's lower definition. I can see the pixels. You know, like is my live thing still working? Okay. God damn. Why am I slouching? Okay. Let's get some more energy going. Anyway. I don't think that this is a particular style that is worth pursuing unless you want to get anime clients, right? Your original style feels a little bit more esportsy, a little bit more gamey, but at least that has a wider audience than those that need anime headers, you know? And I would wonder why you would want to narrow yourself down through that, right? So, those are kind of my thoughts. AI upscaler, for sure. Some of these glows, I think you need to find different ways in which to separate things from the background and the foreground, because everything that is in the foreground has like this particular glow behind them, and it feels like a watercoloring project. Like there's other ways in which you can separate your main point of interest from the background. There's more ways to do that, right? So definitely look into some more compositing related techniques for sure, because I think that you can do better. Let's see. This one, Buffalo International. So that's on the back, this is on the front. Mock-up feels weird. I don't know why. It doesn't feel like it's actually bending to the shadows here. It just feels like it lightened and darkened itself, depending on if there's a shadow going through it. Spacing here looks weird. I guess this Buffalo International and then this established 2023 is really far away for some reason. Like, I feel like you should keep the margins the same as best you can. There's also like a weird kerning issue here. Okay. I mean, they're not going to use this to put into the machine and then start suddenly printing. They're going to use the original files that you gave them to put it where they want. And that's just where that's coming down to. Yeah. The I with the N, for some reason, either the kerning is messed up or there's a space here. I don't know what that's about. Hopefully that's not an issue with the logo. It is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you'd have to manually adjust the kerning there between those two letters. Okay. I mean, it looks like a uniform. Like, I don't know. It looks like a. This is what workers would wear as part of like the yacht crew or something. As far as somebody buying it, that's entirely up to how these people. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. It should be fine, honestly. Other than like my issues with that kerning there, yeah. I mean, I think that this is, for someone that isn't necessarily like an illustrator in the traditional sense, I think this is probably the best you could do. But next time, do it in Illustrator, because what if this client wants their design to be larger? I don't care. I don't care. You can give them a Photoshop file, but also give them the original Illustrator file. Illustrator, like the client, even though they have the Photoshop file, they can't upscale this logo at all, or this design at all. And that's important when it comes to, yeah, that's important when it comes to stuff like this, right? Like, if they want to get like a 2XXL size shirt, they have to adjust the design. This thing is being silly. Hold on. Can you hear me? Okay. When my mic disconnected, it switched to something automatically, and that was not kosher. Not kosher for me. That's been adjusted. Hopefully I sound better now. But yeah. Illustrator, man. You need to create this in Illustrator. If he's requesting in Photoshop, give it to him. Give him both, because he's not going to be able to upscale. And he's going to come back to you if he wants to upscale and be like, what the heck? Why did you mess up the file to not be able to get larger? Because they don't know the difference between a vector and a pixel, right? That's our job to know. So next time you run into a client like this, Dan, just say, look, for workflow's sake, we want to create this in Illustrator so that it is HD at all sizes. I'll still provide you a large version of the file in Photoshop, but I'm going to provide you both, okay? They're not going to complain. Okay? They're not going to complain. So, but yeah, don't hurt me like this, man. Always use Illustrator when we're doing stuff like this. So, I'll review one more thing, Dan, before moving on. Ah, okay. Okay. So, I've actually tried the Metamoon Prime stuff. It was so gross, dude. It tasted so bad. Let's take a look at what they're currently doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love John's work. Um, I'm looking at how they do their current advertisements. Oh, okay. So this could be like a direct representation, like a one-to-one based off of what you've done here, right? So you got the orange peels here, orange. You have noise, which is good. I love noise. But this isn't for me. Prime, right? I think given how they do their marketing, and this is just part of the market research that you should be doing whenever you're making these fake mock-ups, right? Um, Logan is always in it. There's very little text anywhere in this. Like even with this, KSI, punch. They're punching the drink open, right? Um, there's no. This is a mango orange flavor. Looks like great. That's what I've deduced from the visual language here. Mango orange flavor in this drink, with it exploding from that. That looks like a render they did themselves. So you'd probably have to do like a blender type of thing in order to get this type of effect that you want. But there's no reason why you should not be professional even with your fake mock-ups. Because what you're wanting to show, people like the Prime, like Drink Prime people, Jake Paul, whatever the hell, you know what you're doing. You know what it takes to make something look nice. A huge fault that I see happening when I ask other designers what they could have been doing better, they will literally tell me what they could do better, and they didn't do it in the design that they did. Why? Oh, well, that would require like more work or more time than I had, or it's out of my skill range, but so on and so forth, right? I want you to get out of a mindset in which. Actually, hold on. Rewind. Whenever you know how to make something better, ask yourself what type of Google search you need to do in order to get working on making it better immediately. It exists. Google exists. YouTube exists. YouTube's what? The second largest search engine in the world next to Google? Yeah. If I wanted to emulate if my task, like let's say I was like applying for a particular job, and they do this. And they asked me, we like your skills, but we need to see a demonstration of your skills. We want you to create an advertisement based off of our current marketing strategy that you're able to find on our social media. And I see stuff like this. I'm going to try to create as close to one-to-one to this as humanly possible. 100%. Famous people drinking it, great. No text anywhere, just using the fruits, using the heavy Prime logo here, great. So in terms of, it doesn't matter really about my perspective on what I would do. Putting yourselves in the shoes of what the Prime team would want you to do with their product is what you should be asking yourself, because this right here seems like it should be for, like, in comparison, for like a kid version of their drink. This is intense. This is sporty. This is hydration. This is what you see on like professional commercials. This is like for their target demographic. And this just misses the mark. There's no explanation about that this is a hydration drink or orange flavor, right? So I want you to ask yourself what, by looking at something like this, how you can change your advertisement to get closer to what they've created here. Or even make it better. But it needs to be, this is just part of a designer's job, recognizing the rules that their team is already following within their brand guidelines, even when you don't have access to it. Visual language. Orange, we got a good backdrop so that the Prime bottle sticks out from the background really easily. The water is also most likely relatively opaque, being able to react to, actually no, never mind. This is just a straight up orange liquid because it's splattering over here with basically no opaque with the background. Anyway, there's no, these are, the fruits are slightly blurry because it's like exploding out of this. It's very subtle. It's very subtle, though. It's not too crazy. They have a direction here. And the water coming out from it, attaching itself to the fruit as they're leaving, is telling us that the fruit was inside of it and exploded out, carrying the hydration with it. If this was animated, that's exactly what it would look like. And that's how I know that this is a good design, because you give this to a marketing team that's going to animate something, they have everything they need in order to make a really quick 1-second animation where the bottle spins, the fruit bursts out, carrying the hydrated orange water with it. Right? So I would love for you to do another Prime advertisement, just because we're going over this as an example, but and try to really pay attention to how they're representing their product. The liquid is always spilling out. Something is always interacting with it in some capacity, some type of object, famous people. Like they got an Instagram too, I'm pretty sure. That would probably be your best bet. They're definitely more active on Instagram. Yeah, 2 million followers. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is a lot more active. Here's a strawberry watermelon, right? We've got a nice gradient. We got some ice effect. We have the really soft brush to kind of create this glow. Like the outside area over here is warmer than the bottle, which is creating like this kind of dry ice fog effect. Coming down to here, amazing branding, right? I've literally seen mock-ups like this. Why is this so zoomed in? I've seen mock-ups like this where, there's different product things laying around. You can make your own fake mock-up, right? There's plenty of, it would be a lot of work, but seriously, that's what it's going to take to get hired at a good firm. Not a gaming place, not an esports team. Fuck that. I don't even, honestly, guys, I don't really consider like working for an esports team as like a real job. I don't. They could fire you at any moment because of bad management from people who have never ran a business in their life with no organization. Personal experience, that's what I'm speaking from. I don't like them. They try to screw people left and right. Not a good business to get into. Aim higher. You need to aim higher than that. So, I have reviewed it, and my opinions would still remain the same in terms of fake mock-ups in general of companies that exist, unless you're redoing the entire branding and giving it like a brand new take on its brand guidelines. If you're able to make something look exactly like how their marketing team would make it look, that's impressive to me, right? Or implement a new rule. Maybe you want to be maximalist. Don't change branding around a style, change it around a trend, a design trend, or an established rule within design. Because everything else will just be tugged and followed with it when you do it that way. Styling, you basically reinvent the wheel, and like it becomes more complicated. So, on to the next. Lazy, thank you so much for your patience. Mango, we'll get to you soon. Lazy, you got a lot here. And I'm super proud of you, man. Going from, I remember when it was just this on your profile. I remember it was just this. And I was confused because I'm like, where's all your work? And then you started doing more contests within Discord design servers. You did the Meetable, the Meetable challenge. You did the challenge within graphic design. You were able to create stuff like this. You participated in this challenge as well. I believe this is the Sharma show. Hold on. Okay. The Sham Sharma show. Yeah. Battle. Hold on. I think you may have messaged. Nope. Battle chest. A lot of plugins. Pretty much just to put it in. Thank you for coming in, Dan. I appreciate spending time diving deep into this type of thing. Super Wraith Bro, right? This was another Designly challenge that we had. And I actually told you I enjoyed this. It felt more festival-like from the country that you reside. Or no, it was either your country or your partner's country, right? Your country, yeah. This was a festival. I remember distinctly that this was like a festival. And I have reviewed this a while ago. But you got some new stuff. I remember you posting this in particular, the Myth, which is for a Discord server. How much did they end up paying you for this? $10 to $20. Well, this looks pretty damn good, man. Um, Other than the legibility of not being able to read the, discord.gg/the myth, um, it still works really well with whatever theme. I'm sorry? You did it for experience. Let's just put it that way, okay? And yet another Designly challenge, VitaFizz. I actually quite enjoyed this one. Um, it just barely missed its mark, and also for there's some reason like the margins here are just like really really small. I want it to be larger and more in my face. I'm at Even at 100%, it just feels like the margins are way too tight. Make it fill the page more. You have all this white space. I don't think I did a deep dive into this though. So let's go from the bottom up. This right here, super cute, right? I love it, right? Water comes out, it comes in. You're using tweens. It's not just a flat movement. You're using motion blur. It's coming into frame. There's some resolution issues with it for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about. It's probably more of how you exported it. I think it's probably how you yeah, it's an export issue. There are ways to get around that. It's a pain in the ass. I've had the growing pains of dealing with low quality GIFs. But there are ways around it. Looks like it was this middle one especially was hyper compressed. You can see it kind of really becoming fuzzy. But the vision is there, right? I would almost rather this be like an actual full video with some music, and it's cycling through the different flavors. And at the very end, this is the final frame. It goes away, it swipes away, and then it says "try today," and then like giving like a fake website or something, right? That would be more impactful to me than these GIFs, I think, personally. Coming up here, switching through the different flavors and colors, great. For some reason, the mock-up has a different position for the 100% natural, so that's kind of jumping a little bit. It needs to be all the same. The colors are, I would normally say, pretty obtuse and offensive, but for a drink that like this, you go into a Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and there's definitely brands of drink that are these types of colors. So I totally on brand there. And a little bit of like kind of the trippy 60s, 70s disco holographic vibe, I think was perfect for the target demographic that we were going for here. I think, honestly, you're getting to a point where you're designing really great stuff. I think something that you need to invest in, though, something that you need to invest in next, Lazy, is a proper way to present your work. You need a proper way to do it, right? If I just do like, I just type in branding here, right? Let's click on this one. Everything is like the 1920 by 1080 format. Everything is pretty laid out. This is like an icon thing. Let's try this one. This is by somebody in a different country. Scrolling down, we have the mock-ups. That's really cute. Somebody carrying it. Somebody actually... Wow, that's pretty intense. Just going through, showing off this brand identity. Now, there isn't really much explanation into why they chose the things that they chose. Like they went... they created the whole facility. And maybe it explains right here. I can't read that language, though. I think that's... I think this is Mandarin. Because I'm learning Chinese right now, actually. I recognize some of the characters. I'm a noob, though, so it could be wrong. Don't listen to me. Friday. Oh, okay. Starting with the video, it's automatically playing. It's not a GIF, and it's high quality. And it's on loop. I don't know what they use to get that. Friday, not your average Friterie. What happens when you stir branding agency with Belgian frymanship? Friday. A Friterie concept with a fresh and homemade offering of burgers, snacks, and ambition to become a blah, 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 blah. That's super cute. It's a good attention to detail. They slightly bend the pole here as it adds and then removes weight. Gives it a more organic look. They're all using the same... Oh, this is just one graphic. Okay. So this is all one thing. They're not separate GIFs stacked onto each other. Here's what their social posts look like. I want you, before you do your next project, Lazy, I want you to just literally type in like I did, branding, whatever you're doing, logo presentation, and take a look at what people have already done and use that as the framework to help improve your own presentations. Because obviously, I mean, you can tell me right now, like, this looks good, right? Like, this looks very good. I know exactly what it is. There's a lot of animation. You know how to animate, though. It's going to be a lot of work, but like, I'm willing to bet the Skin branding agency, realistically, they're probably just a one-man band, even though they say agency. But this is going to get them hired somewhere. This is going to get them hired. They did everything. Well, they probably didn't do everything, but they've definitely added these elements in to make it make sense. So, I challenge you to just type in branding and take a look at what people have done before you do your next project so that you can see how somebody else has done their own. And I want you to take their framework and implement it into your own way of your own stuff, because I feel like that's what's holding you back currently. Okay? Those are my honest thoughts. Just doing a little bit more research into how you present this. Another thing as well, let's go to this person. Take a look at people's Behance as well to see how they're doing their thumbnails. Damn, look how many times they've been featured. Jeez. Whoa. They've been featured a lot. um, yeah, that's your next step, man. Honestly, as a designer, figure out how to make your stuff, present your stuff better. So I'm going to go through light mode. Uh-huh. Okay. The concept is cool. The concept is cool, really harsh blacks and whites. You could do something with this totally, but I'm just saying, right? Like, proper presentation is what's going to allow you to be sold as an artist, not necessarily the skill itself. If it's not presented properly, people aren't going to be interested. So, I believe this is Mango, which is awesome. Kind of want to see what your stuff looks like here. Okay. Well, I gave you my thoughts on this one for sure. Confidant, my father's branding and such. This heart logo presentation is almost there. Logo is, it feels not as complete. Concept sketches. People like seeing the sketches, man. I don't think you need an entire. It looks good. I don't think you need an entire dedicated area of all of your sketches. I think you can implement like Cloudite. Put this with the Cloudite project. Don't have it be so that people have to go searching for what the sketches look like, right? Cute. It's getting better. This was for another Design League challenge, I remember. And this looks really good too. So you're getting better at drawing as well. You literally see the evolution over time. Brand design. I remember distinctly giving you advice on this in particular. It looks really good. Coming down. Local kitchen and bathroom installer. Somebody's house. Adding. I want to see more elements added like this around this printed page or concept. Would this be printed? I feel like this would be printed. Okay. Yeah, this little element right here, this super cute. I like that a lot. But there's only one of it. There's no. Kind of expected there to be more. Adding the QR code right here, really fantastic use of space. This kind of getting rid of the green blotch here. I would double check with you in regards to margins, though. They don't feel exactly aligned. Let me see if I can give like a concept of this. Like, oh my goodness. It's not the most cohesive program, but anyway. So there's margins right here that hold it in place, right? But then up here, the green thing is up here instead. It doesn't line up directly. It doesn't line up with the font up here either. Like, put the edge of the green block right here so that it can be all kind of, here's this wall. Same with the middle paragraphs too. They feel like they're kind of not on the same, being pushed up against the wall, right? It should be touching that wall, butts to the wall, backs to the wall. But yeah, the margins just feel a little bit off. And the same is for this too, right? Putting the margins the same as the first page. They're different. The elements that you do here are important. It's a flyer. So, is this the front page of the flyer and then people open up to this, or what? Okay, see you, lazy. Glad I could help. Did you use examples of other flyers that you've seen? I'm glad, man. Because normally, if it'll give me a freaking image. Like, this is typically what the front of a magazine looks like. A flyer that you have. I mean, it's just going to be a double-sided piece of paper. So usually the front page of those are to grab attention, to get people to flip to the other side that has more information. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. There's nothing here that necessarily like jumps out to me immediately. It looks like the inside page of a magazine, which is what I thought this initially was. Figure out if you can do AI upscaler. Something like this is powerful if you do it before and after. Why do people want to hire these people? Because their kitchen currently does not look like this. What did these people do here? Did they just do the cabinetry? Did they do this little island? Did they do everything? There's not... Yeah, that's a mistake on their part. They need to think more ahead on these types of things. Like, seriously. Like, this doesn't really do you much much good. Honestly, if I was in your place, I would be looking up the addresses of these houses or request them and then look on like Zillow or any other house marketing, excuse me, any other house realtor.com places and see if the house had ever been listed and see if you can get like an image of excuse me, see if you can get an image of the kitchen. It would be a different angle, but at least you'd have a before and after that you found. And, you know, given you might run into some issues with quality there as well, but it's still a better shot than being told, no, we don't have that. Okay, what's the address here so I can look on Zillow or realtor.com to see if the house has ever been listed and get it before, like a before picture, because visual language here is so important to understand how it relates to the person, right? It doesn't end with just giving somebody a flyer. That does Giving somebody a flyer, that doesn't create a lead. What creates the lead is their understanding of being able to flip over to the backside and seeing a before and after that makes sense for what they want in their own house. And that's why they call. There's also a lot of information here. It almost feels like this should be the back versus this, right? This is a lot more cohesive. And also, the context in which these flyers are being handed out matters too. Are they at a DIY show? Are they at a physical place, or are these being given out on the street? Are we already sort of in front of people who are in this space, or do we have to print out 1,000 of these and then throw them at people? Because that's going to require two different design ideas and execution, right? So, logo folio. This recent logo reminds me of a logo that I made in the past. I remember giving my exact thoughts on these. People aren't interested in logos, they're interested in brands, right? You can create a good logo here, but if they don't understand the messaging or what it's about, they're not going to understand like why you created it, what your task actually was. Yeah, putting a QR code there is really great. There's just something. Hold on, maybe I can. I made it like a energy drink logo thing called Shark Bait, and I used a rocket as a as a base for creating the shark. This was back in like 2019, 2020. But I used like a pretty similarly looking rocket to create the guideline there. So, in terms of, hold on. Excuse me. In terms of this logo, let's actually look at the branding guidelines. Brand mission, foundation. Okay. It's a little jarring to look at this. Definitely do top down next time. The brand 1.0. Brand mission, this looks clean. Brand vision. Spacing is a little bit strange. Move this further down. Oh wait, there's a broken image right here. Probably want to fix that. Going with a little bit more serious, casual, respectful, enthusiastic. These don't feel... I don't know. Like, serious and casual don't really mix well together unless you're like serious but wearing casual clothing. Irreverent or respectful or enthusiastic and apathetic. These are a little bit confusing to me because when I look at it, I see something completely different. I think it's a little bit more friendly. um, friendly, bubbly. En- Enthusiastic is correct. Hopeful as well. But I wouldn't really associate that with being, serious. Unless you're talking about like how you want someone to like look at this brand as like it's like a funny looking brand or a serious looking brand. Maybe the jet flying through a cloud, which leaves a symbolized motion as Jethost is constantly moving and innovating. This feels weird right here. There's something going on with the pen tool here that doesn't feel as clean as it could be. Did you manually pen tool this? Okay. I'm going to save a lot of grief from you here in just a second. It's taking longer than I thought to load. Just a sec. Wow, that took forever to load. Why? Why did this take forever to load? Oh boy. Okay. I'm hoping that this can help you. Dude, seriously? Of course, all my tools are over here. And there's like a lag going on with it for some reason. What the hell? Okay. Let's us figure this out. Okay, we got a cloud here, right? Oh, you can only see the showcase. Hold on. It was taking forever to load anyway. Okay, we got a cloud here. Wonderful. You want to add a particular shape to this, or you manually created the cloud with pen tool, right? So this is something that is going to be very important, right? I have this object here. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Let's warp it. Warp it good. Blend. Nope. Maybe vertical. Yeah, there we go. So I got this shape here, right? I wanted to go through this like that. Oops. First, I need to expand this shape. There. Now I have a bent rectangle. I'm going to select both and do that. Or, you know, if I wanted to be a little bit more fancy, I could bring this further in. I get a little bit more of a thing there. Or even make this thicker. Adjust the... Can this stop, please? All right. I could do it again. Oops. Now we have a completely different shape here. And I did not have to manually pen tool anything here. Just a clean shape. I can then also, this is still like one shape and stuff, but I could go in and take that away and then have two separate objects. Right? Maybe I want to bring them in closer together, depending on what I want to do. Split them further apart, so on and so forth. The point I'm trying to make is that you made more work for yourself. There are ways in which to help your workflow. There is. Right? You can do this with pretty much everything too. Like, I could just add these poles here and do it again. Right? There are some weird things with the you have to select the correct things and then do that, right? But even with your thing here, right? You know, oops. Creating a cloud yourself. You can add that bottom curve later, right? You don't need to do the entire thing yourself. But I can tell that you did this part manually. Like the cloud here just... But that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, you didn't have like a cloud shape. The only cloud shape you had was like this part, and then you manually did pen tool for everything else in between and around, which I'm telling you is not really necessary, in my opinion. I just don't think it's necessary. I think you did more work for yourself than you needed to. I do. And then like a curly Q thing. I don't think that there's a shape for that, so I'd have to manually do it, but you know. I don't know. Oh, good, you got rid of it. But yeah, I'm just saying you did more work for yourself than you needed to. Like, you could have at least used minus back, minus front, or whatever it's called. Yeah, minus front to really cut down on this. And then you could have created the pen tool related thing. In which case, it feels a little jagged. Use this tool. It creates curves for you automatically. Or if you have a super jagged object like this, you can use the curvature pen tool. Double click on your anchor points, and then you're able to curve them. Most of them. Oh, there we go. See what I mean? I did a botched version of that, but yeah, you understand what I mean by this. Safe zone is designated. This feature serves as a guardian for your brand's visual identity. Yep. Good. Versions without gradients. Typography, Inter, very reliable. Love it. I believe that's what Designly's font is. It's Inter. JetHost, your website's first class ticket. Experience luxury with JetHost. Confused by the experience luxury for a website's first class ticket. I'm assuming this is for website hosting. I don't know what people that are looking for a web host, they don't know the difference between their website being hosted and the website being hosted with luxury. So you might need to have a talk about what that means to have a luxury experience with website hosting. Bold, confident, elegant, sophisticated. 6.0, good mock-ups. Business cards feel strange to me. I feel like the margins with this, it would get easily cut off. Okay. Looks good. This looks a little funky with like this godhood thing. Contact me. Contact me page feels a little strange. Usually you want to end with like a person like saying goodbye or like waving or something. That's something that's sort of lacking here, is the human touch to this. You do it for a split second with showing people right here. But there needs to be more people everywhere. Like, a luxury experience still means being involved with a person to get your stuff done. No one likes working with robots to get their shit done. So if you're able to implement some type of human element here, it might help you out. But using you could use people like on Pexels or any type of stock imagery, typing in like happy business person, and then you'd be able to like find people like that. Throw in here. I do it all the time. It's important. Showing human element. The overall showcase, I'm confused about this brand tone thing. I don't think it really matches up with what you're going for. I think it's too bubbly. I think a lot of tech related companies are very straight edge. They're very kind of matter of fact. Like you showed off this type of stuff here, where it's like super blocky and very like straight to the point. And then your logo is like super bouncy and like not at all kind of within the same realm of style of this or expectation. From far away, it doesn't look bad. Rocket gets a little bit. The rocket vanishes a bit, and that little tiny. This thing right here vanishes as it gets smaller as well. Like you can't see it at all. So there needs to be more visual language that demonstrates that it's penetrating through the cloud. Contact me page is weak. Again, showing yourself or showing like somebody here to like say hello is really, really important. Social media it's fine. There isn't really anything branded here. Like this just looks like an image that you found on Google. I expect more things to be branded around social posts because that's what's going to, that's what people are going to see. When people find out about the company, they're going to check all the socials. And if it's just kind of stock imagery, that's going to look strange. Not quite sure why we're talking about sending people letters when this is a web hosting company that sends emails. A little bit confused about that. Like you're not going to be sending letters to each other in the office at all, unless it's to like something else. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know why you need a mock-up here for stationery at all. Like you just need a business card or like a flyer of some kind, maybe. But you know, I don't think you need like stationery. Like, oh, this is the mail that we're gonna send you. Like, no, we're like, sending somebody snail mail isn't really the pinnacle of luxury, I would say. Yeah, like this hook out here, this hook specifically is really bugging me. I don't like how it, and this cut just feels like you deleted an anchor point and then hooked it to the top. Yeah, this part of the logo really bugs me. The rocket feels like clip art, but it's a rocket. Like you, there's only so many ways you can make a rocket look like a rocket. Yeah, I mean it. Did you have a mood board for this? Yeah, you need to make you need to make a mood board that also includes similar companies that are in the web hosting space. Look at their logos, look at how they present their brands. Create a mood board around that style and then start sketching. Because I feel like the logo was created without really truly understanding what the market already looks like. And it kind of comes off a little bit as like trying to reinvent the wheel type of thing. So that's kind of my thoughts on this. Thank you for sharing. I hope that helps out a little bit. What's up, Donnie? The next entry is by Easy Claps. Provided no context, just sent a Modern Warfare banner. I would assume is for Twitter. I'm not a fan of this at all. The color grading is not good. This guy is super pixelated. He has no shoulder. I don't know why he's like super green right here, but then black and white on his eyes. I just don't really understand that. He's also low quality. Call of Duty, normally putting text behind an object can yield success, but you need to show most of the object behind someone so that they can put two and two together. This is this. I can only see the CA and Y, really. Like I recognize the logo font, but if I didn't recognize the logo on font at all, like it's just way too small. And the freaking trademark R is right here too. Like your work is not trademarked by these people. It's just this weird like fog looking thing. Helicopter without any of the blades. Super blurry. This doesn't look like an actual spotlight. It just kind of looks like a dot with a beam with a glow. This also similarly, everything is low quality. Easy. If you're watching this at a later time, everything here is super mushy, poopy quality. I would ask you, if you were in here, if you used other examples of Call of Duty banners, and I think you'd say no. I think you'd just go up. You'd say that you went off of memory, to be quite honest, because this does not. This is just not good, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad for saying that, but I want you to take a look at how you're doing your workflow. You get an idea. What do you do next with that idea? Are you going straight into designing without any structure? Or are you doing proper research, looking at what other banners look like, looking at other COD-related branding? Are you looking at multiple different styles in which COD banners are made? If you're not doing that, then there's not really... You're not helping yourself. You need to do the due diligent work of understanding what certain things are supposed to look like, so that when you go into these programs to start designing, as soon as you run into a roadblock or a problem for creating a particular effect, Google and YouTube are your friend. If you have no reference point, there's no way for you to know what you could even remotely improve on, because you're not doing your proper research. This is the only thing you posted without any text or context, so I don't really know like what this is for. If this is for yourself, you were paid for this. I don't know. but I would like to know. Maybe you can shoot me a DM or at me in somewhere in the server. But I'm gonna move on. And then we have finally John Warosa coming through. Let's see. We're in for a treat, guys. Bro sent me a freaking PDF. Donnie, can you see that okay? Okay. Fave Questers. Brand identity. Embroidered mock-up. Looks very good. By Marius T. 2023. Perfect. Fave Questers is a group of young women who are passionate about embracing the beauty of nature, nurturing their spiritual connection, and fostering personal growth. This unique group warmly welcomes individuals of all experience levels, from seasoned hikers to beginners, offering a space for personal exploration, shared adventure. Opus Dei Group. Fave. Foundation for Angelus Values Education. Okay. Angelus. Okay. Brand Essence. Nature Exploration Adventure. Spiritual Connection. Personal Growth. An eagerness to evolve and develop personally. Okay. Target audience, primary women in the Philippines. That is very specific. Mission statement, faith goals, self-discovery, personal growth. We've already gone over this. I was tasked by one of these founders to create a brand identity that keeps in mind the target audience, the brand essence, the mission statement, and the vision statement. It seems a little bit robotic to say. There's not really... You're saying my here, but I almost expect there to be a little bit more of like personal inquiry here. You were tasked with this, but then you also wanted to do this for yourself. I think would be a better way to kind of tell people that this is your design. This is your vision too. Encapsulate the themes and adventures. It's a lot of cutoffs there. Got the purples, fonts, sharp sans, extra bold, sharp sans, medium. Okay, it looks like a patch, which is great. Mock-up 1. So it looks like folded up cloth. Okay, well, that's for them. Maybe it's just me. Feels like it's off by a few pixels. It got moved very slightly. And it's not just the changing of the number. Anyway. Yeah, I'm perfect on that hat. Logo appears on casual clothing. This looks like it's... Can I zoom in, please? Where are my zoom in tools? Adobe XD, or whatever this program is called. It's so slow, bro. Anyway, this feels like it's way too high up on her chest. Like, no, I feel like it's not going to get printed right next to the seam, next to your neck. It's going to be more on her chest, on her breasts, generally. That's Unless I'm not paying attention, that's generally how things are printed out. Anyway, looks low quality here for some reason. I don't know why. Looks like on a flag. Great. On some buttons. And I was actually looking, John, you're watching this later. Hey, Blue. John, you're going to be watching this later. I know. Don't do buttons. I actually saw a really fantastic... and it would probably require more work on your end, but this one artist did like a little enamel pin that would go into your shirt. This would look really good as an enamel pin instead of a button like this. So maybe that's just like an idea that you might be able to explore. Okay. The logo sins. Do not do this. Do not stretch. Do not squish. Do not change the colors. Do not add gradients and glows. Do not add a stroke. Do not change the fonts. Do not change the font sizes. Do not add extra assets. Unless they're paying you to do that, John. Sharp Sands by Lucas Sharp. Looks good to me. Really heavy. For some reason, there's like a weird white line on top of everything here. It's like a weird artboard issue. Okay. Colors. Yeah, really impressive yellow. Okay. Interesting. Ooh. A journey of faith and adventure. This looks really nice. I like that. I like this a lot. My gosh. Okay. Effective banner. Yep. Profile picture looks a little strange, but, you know, whatever. Not yet finished. Oh, no. Okay. Well, if your socials are going to be any indication of being done, well done, perfect even. I mean, this looks fantastic. So we might be in for a treat when he's done with this. But overall thoughts are more so the types of assets you used, your decision making on where you put the logo on this shirt doesn't really match. Using enamel pins instead of buttons don't really, I don't know. Like, I feel like because this is like this might be something, this seems like an actual client, so I don't know if they're already doing this, but this is branding. This whole company, it seems, is all about self-discovery, personal growth, and spiritually grounded and emotionally resilient, right? I almost feel like this, like if you're going to do buttons, I almost feel like there should be buttons that kind of demonstrate levels of growth that you've achieved, right? Like this is just a button with the logo on it, but if this is about personal growth and you're working with other women to help achieve your goals, it almost kind of makes sense to me to almost have like a badge system of achievement, right? And that could be represented here with those badges, right? Or other enamel pins, whatever it may be. Those are just my 2 cents, though. Maybe you could pitch that to them and you can do it for them. I don't see why it was so necessary to show off so many different things on clothes. I mean, this one makes sense for sure, but to have it right here really up close, to have it on a flag, I don't really get unless there's like a campground, in which case I'm kind of wondering, like, is this like a scout camp thing? I'm a little confused. There's this yellow here, but I very rarely ever see the yellow. I see it as something that is incorrect. So I'm not quite sure why the yellow's here, when the only reference within the presentation of this yellow is saying that it's wrong. So I'm a little confused about that. You show off everything in which the logo is not supposed to be looking. I also want to see a page in which what you can do with the logo, what colors you can do, right? What does the black and white version look like by itself? No color. What does this yellow version look? Is there other purple and black iterations that are allowable? Those are just kind of my thoughts on that. Really looking forward to seeing what the social posts look like. It's pretty dope. This looks really good. I love this. It's clean and simple is what that comes down to, right? Like, put the text in here, you did some compositing, and then you're done. But it looks really good. Looks really good. So, Anyway, that looks like that is everything. That is all the submissions that we got today. We are 2 hours into this, so appreciate people who did come stop by. If you couldn't make it, no worries. Refer to this recording to reference if you need help. If you have any further questions about my critique on your work, feel free to shoot me a ping. I'll be happy to elaborate further. Maybe we can hop on a voice chat within the server and go more in depth about what I was referring to. Maybe even do some hands-on work where we both pull up the same file and I can show you what I mean by certain compositing techniques and so on and so forth. But thank you all so much for coming in. We're, of course, starting up the events again within Designly now that I'm back from my drug study. Things are going to be a little bit busy as we are going into, at least personally, the company that I'm starting with my family. We have a massive event November 9th. That sounds like it's far away. In reality, it's not, because a lot of work still needs to be done in between now and then. This event is going to have 30,000 or more people going through those doors, as they do every year. So we have to create a lot of product. I have to get all the socials set up. I have to get all the graphics made, all the photography done, everything. So, although events are coming back, I can't promise that there will be an event every single week like last time. Most likely after this large event, we'll try to get back to our normally scheduled weekly events. So that said, thank you so much for tuning in. If this helped you, leave a like or join the, if you're watching this and you didn't submit, you're interested in getting critique, join the server. Would love to have you. Love to see your work. Have a fantastic Saturday, and I'll see you at the next one. See ya.